Pollock. I wonder if it's a big back or not. This is where we'll go. There's some top of those now. Yeah, give it a bit. Hello, this is trip 9. Tried to make this video a bit different and explain how we go about fishing these lures. People have asked me how much weight and that we add. We don't add any weight. I've tried to detail some of the tackle we've used and how we fish it. If there's any questions or comments, yeah, feel free to ask and leave a message in the comments. Yeah, do think about subscribing, because trying to do these every other week at the moment, and that'll go on till the end of November when we see who wins the Great Bass Race. As I said before, we're trying to raise a bit of money for charity, so there's a link in the description where you can donate if you feel you want to. We seem to be having a massive wrasse incursion at the moment, which is a bit of a nightmare. So we've had to ban them as a scoring fish, like pouting, so they no longer count. This is just so we don't target them in the match. But a friend of mine who lives in Jersey, Mick Ward, Mr. Fish, I don't think they use soft plastics over there because the wrasse just destroy them. I mean, they're cracking little fish and they pull really hard, but I've got a horrible feeling those fish have left the Channel Islands and moved to the Sussex coast. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Oh, at the end of this, you'll notice I did some fishing in some extremely dodgy weather. It was an electrical storm came over. We didn't really have a choice because we were on the wrong side of it to come in. And I think the chances of being hit by lightning are quite remote. I ride a performance motorbike, and some of the places I bass fish inshore on the rocks are very, very dangerous. So I came to the conclusion the chances of getting hit by lightning are a lot less. That said, we were keeping an eye on the situation, and we did get thoroughly soaked, and I'm not recommending anyone be stupid enough to do this. Anyway, but the bass did start feeding after that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers. That's right, no, you won't see it. Yeah, this is trip 9. Sadly, we lost the football last night, but hopefully it's looking like it's been to rain all day today, and at the moment it's not looking too bad. Today we're probably going to do something different. In fact, we are going to do something different. We're trying to go through how we're fishing these rigs. Also, we might have a go for taupe. We really don't know until we get out there. We'll have a look, but yeah, it's a shame about the football. My weapon of choice today, my Nebula 10 to 45, oh, it's a 10 to 45, 160 gram max. It's an SP, Nebula SP. It's got a short buck section. Brilliant rod. If you're actually a bit tricky to transport for boat fishing, these are brilliant. I'm sure they'd be good off the bank, the lighter ones. Hopefully we'll be getting a cod today on this. Pollock. You can handle like lures up to about 100 grams comfortably, maybe more. The other rod's better for the bass on the inside. We're using lures up to 25 grams ish. We just come in, we thought we'd just stop off on this wreck. We'll give it a couple of drifts because we can, and it's en route to where we want to go. I've just dropped down there with a 40 gram size 5 fish lure. Now we're not fishing that deep at the minute, sort of 40-50 foot. I'm using 20-pound Surfix. I can feel that lead hitting the bottom every time. And we're just going to go over a wreck, and we fish it really tight to the wreck. In fact, we drag them over the wreck sometimes. We're actually fishing in front of the boat for it, so it's not quite swiftly. Basically, as the tide changes, so do the lures we're using. The key is to try and go as light as you can. I mean, we'll probably get away with a 37 or maybe a 25 here. No less than that.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
No. It feels a bit weird. Back. Dash. I think I've first bass. Hopefully we get some bigger ones. First bass. One. Right, we both just tied new leaders on. A bit afraid from Did you actually? No, Nigel lost us. Yeah, always I use an FG knot, or when we're in the boat, double uni knot, and I tie a really long leader, probably about 4 or 5 foot. Just because, like, you're gonna, if you start fishing for cod and that, you're gonna start trimming that leader down. Also, so you can grab the leader and pull the fish in the boat. If you use a net, it's gonna cost you time, maybe fish. Leader material I use, trialing 20 pound, 200 yard spools, and I use long leaders. When I'm fishing for the shore, I use a much more expensive leader. It's a lot thinner, 18 pound, but this stuff's quite thick, which is quite good. Nigel's into a big bass.
I'm not a big bass. Biggest one of the day.
Big fish. Nigel's going for the big fish point. He's got a line. Do you want me to bring it in? Good fish. Nice one, that. Nigel's got a big bass on.
I only got a big bass on.
I can't actually cast out, so the fish won't be counting in the match.
Oh, it's bass, right?
Oh, it's a nice bass. Nigel's actually got, yeah, it's a good bass.
I want a decent,
yeah, I want a decent photo.
I told you this is what we normally do when we come out to these wrecks. We pick a couple of bass off each one.
There you go. Yeah. Non-counter though.
Oh, well, yeah.
I can't count, Nigel, when I can't fish. We know your first drop is by far the best, I did say. In deeper water now. So I've just gone up to a I haven't got many of these, that's an 80 gram head, size 5 fish lure. Dolphins moving in front of us. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Moving to a market, we've done pretty well for the cod now. Put a different lure on. That's a green with a red tail. A 60 gram head. Dolphins are following the boat. Fishing deeper water now. So really we could be catching pollock. Decent sized bass like the one Nigel just had. Maybe cod, hopefully. It's the time of year the cod will be moving inside now. So it's a hard call, it's a funny year, but I'll keep the camera running for this one.
Oh, bad luck.
I don't know, we've done. I don't know why I cast that way, it's going to go straight down, isn't it? Tide's dropping off at the minute. First drift on a wreck is always by far the most prolific.
If I get the drift right.
Get the drift right. I think after you've done like 4 or 5 drifts, I mean, I think the bass nearly always come on the first drift.
Yeah, that's what we always say, that we put around these drifts catching pollock, but we normally catch the off bass, but normally on the first couple of drifts.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't understand why we weren't getting them earlier on this season.
Alright, I'm down there now. We don't put any additional, ever put any additional lead on these lures. It's the weight of the lure. I think that 80 gram, I reckon, would be good in 150 foot, easy. Oh, I just had a bang. Sadly, we're getting wrassed heavily on the older convex. Wrasse are killing us this year. I reckon wrasse are of Italian descent after the football. Done us some football, now they're going to duel our lures. Those soft plastics are made this. It's like a gripping line. Didn't feel that huge. It just feels a bit different. I reckon this, I don't know. This could be big wrasse, I reckon. Nigel's in as well, double hook up. Mine's going back down.
Mine's not that big.
Mine don't feel that.
It's not a pouted, I know that. I can feel rain, I can feel rain. Don't tell me mine is a pouted.
I just want to see what mine is.
Mine's gone up very easily now. So you've got a Pollock.
Not a bad one.
But you got the
It's a
neck
good
bite.
fish.
I know I've got Wrasse. Oh, man, I brought my Wrasse up too quickly. Yeah. Nice one, Rob.
Yes.
I'm letting my...
I might have the big fish point here, chaps. I didn't think that was didn't feel like that big.
About £9 in there. So it's about £7.
Yeah. Right, slack tide now. I'm just passing a bit of time. It's very, very close.
We're going to move off here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, once the tide starts pulling, it's very, very close. There's loads of little flies. You see them?
Yeah.
When that tide starts running.
Not at your pat lunch.
I'm not. Right, we're on wreck. We've done quite a few wrecks today, and we're just getting absolutely obliterated by wrasse today. I mean, they're out here in 100 foot of water. I've never known a year like it for wrasse. The inside's infested. It's the point of having to like rethink how we fish. Maybe like start using some small metals. Nuisance really. Or live bait wrasse. They no longer count in the match. No points for wrasse. If anyone's got any good wrasse recipes, please fire them over. Right, we're literally, the wrasse have destroyed our lure collecting today. And I'm going to stick with the lethal lures now. These are brilliant lures. They're made in England and they're tougher. For the deeper wrecks, they could be a little bit heavier, not a lot, but I've got a feeling we're going to have to, like, these wrasse are a problem this year. We need to actually, I think they'll have the tail off these. Trouble is, I can't replace the tail on these. I have to resort to bait fishing. Some wrasse would make a good wrasse fillet. Once Amy Grace's, I'm in the lead with this match. I've got to click that. 2 wrasse, a decent Pollock, so I've got a big fish point as well. Me and Nigel both lost good fish on our drift. Well, we both had takes, better fish. So you can see this weather's a bit scary. There's meant to be a lot of thunder coming in. It is like very, very close. Feel the static. We've got the aerials down. Good for eels. We have torrential rain now. So we're going to go inside for a bit. It's rather wet in here today. Nigel's had a couple of decent bass. I've had the best fish of the, well no, I've had the biggest fish of the day. I think Nigel's bass was the best. But a Pollock, it was strange. Outside we normally do really well, but it was a bit slow out there. But we've had like torrential rain now and lightning, so we're going to sort of stay inside for a little bit. Hopefully this weather clears up, but we're quite lucky. forecast today to be a bit nasty, but we were going to go out on the baits today, and the next trip we are going to do some bait fishing for tote. So you're going to do so much lure fishing, you need a breather, don't you? And yeah, it was nice bumping into Shore Fisherman UK and I think it was his sister this morning. Them two are proper hardcore out there on that rib. We see him catch one bass. I'm sure they've had a lot more bass now. Yeah, I hope they're not caught out. They ain't got a cabin on that rib. It could be a bit. But we'll try and get a few more bass before the day's out. Like the old lethal lures. I'll be mortified when a Wrasse has one though. Mark my words, if a Wrasse kills one of my lethal lures, it ain't going back. Wrasse soup, I think, could be quite a nice little dish. Now we've got lightning as well. All the aerials are down. Got so wet, I had to retrieve the GoPro. It's doing some very strange things. We're debating whether to run away, but I think I should give it one drift, Nigel. You can actually film me while I'm out there. My rod looking a bit lonely. There's been a few dolphins knocking around, but yeah, the next trip is going to be tote. And Nigel went out the other day, last week. What did you use? How big would you say that tote was, Nigel? How big was it?
It was about £30, but we couldn't get it on board.
£30 tote. He had a £4 brill, which he gave to a friend of ours on the yard. And what else did you get? Loads of rays, up to how big?
Up to 12.5.
Loads of back rays up to 12.5 pounds. It's not a bad day. And the time before they went tote fishing, they had a couple of very big bass. So this is what we will be doing the next time. It's a rather wet one today. Yes. Bait fishing in this sort of weather is quite enjoyable actually. I've never caught a brill or a turbot, and Nigel's been catching brill and turbot. I'm quite happy with one of those. Oh, okay, he hasn't caught turbot this year. What was the best turbot you caught, Nigel?
They're not massive, but I don't know.
How big?
I don't know, probably about, I don't think it was a double.
Still, it's not bad for turbot. I'd like to go back out to the turbot mark. I wonder if we get them on the...
We did catch a lot of turbot, but I mean, yeah, they're...
Bloody Wrasse. The Wrasse. Now, do you meant to point it at me?
I am.
Now, where's the wreck?
It's in the water, right, below you.
What side?
Oh, I don't think it make any difference. I've lost total. I can't see.
It's working pretty good. I reckon I'm going to catch it.
Right, hurry out.
You look at the screen, Nigel. You'll see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You look at the screen.
I'm looking at the screen.
Right. Probably going to
We're drifting very fast, 2.5 miles an hour.
How fast we go, Nigel?
2.5.
2.5 miles an hour. 50 gram lethal lure.
Wreck showing.
Soft plastic. Oh yeah, there's the wreck. I'm pretty confident of the bass. Basically, I'm dropping it down, lifting it up, and then I'm feeling it down. You can get the hooks on the way down.
Oh shit.
So I'm lifting it, dropping it down slowly till I feel the bottom. That's thunder.
Bloody hell, Warwick. Can we run away?
Yeah, I could be a lightning strike.
Yeah, on film.
I'll get loads of views if I get electrocuted. What is that little lump?
That's the wreck. We're just gone over the south bit of the wreck. We can't go over the big way the drift's going.
Well, I think there's a...
Come on. I think you're going to have to call it a day, right?
Well, you're going to have a go.
Oh.
I'll just do another drift.
Alright, come on then.
Hold on, just let me. That can't be the wreck.
It is. We're drifting at.
Nigel just had a brute of a bass on briefly. I thought he was into the wreck, and then I realised he was into a fish. Do you reckon that was the best bass of the year, Nigel?
No, the one we had towed fishing was, but
we're in an area with some very large bass. Plenty of double-figured bass have come from this part of the woods. The lethal lure, the one I'm using there, is cracking. It's been mortified if I lose the tail on that. But that here came out of the snag. I've been using one of I've tried the mighty minnows a few times. They're brilliant, but not for this sort of fishing. Put them down there and they don't come back up. Those sort of need to be fishing weedless. 100% weedless, no other lead on the line. It's the only way you can fish these baits into wrecks like we do. Long leaders help. Right, I've got a feeling we might get on this drift. I'm going to leave the GoPro inside because it's still raining quite heavily and it started playing. Alright, now to go and catch that big bass. Use my rod. What? Nigel's outfit is a ugly stick, DAIWA BG, same line, Surfix, 832, £20. Right, we're coming in now. Weather's a bit better, but it was absolutely shocking lightning and storms earlier. We had a bit of a hangover this morning. Yeah, I had my biggest bass of the day at the end there. It's nice to get it on a British lure as well, not an Italian lure. Lethal lures doing us over there. Also, getting a bit tougher, and the Wrasse have been absolutely destroying our lures today. This was outside. Seems to be a Wrasse incursion this year. It's a bit worrying. Lethal lures look a bit tougher. The only concern I have is the fact you can't replace the tails when the Wrasse have been them off. Fingers crossed, Wrasse haven't got a taste for them. Savage gear sand deals, Wrasse don't like those as well. They'll be alright in sort of September when the bass move into like 20 foot, but at the moment they're still a bit deep for those. But I'm sure Savage Gear will be bringing out some bigger heads in the not too distant future. Next year I can see that being one of the best lures on the market. Yeah, the next trip we're going to do out, we're going to do a bit of bait fishing, lured out. Pretty sure we weren't a million miles away from bigger bass at the end there. Nigel hooked into a much bigger bass briefly. I thought he was into the wreck. Didn't stay on. My last bass was a good fish. We need to bring the basmati out so we can get some measurements. Well, I would have said, how many centimetres would you say my one was? Your bigger one earlier? Like big 50s, 60? Anyway, I'm glad to say that I have won this match. I have the numbers and the big fish point with a Pollock of around, I don't know, 7 or 8 pounds. It's a good fish, put up a good strap on the line here, those Pollock. It doesn't seem to be as much regarding the Pollock and the Pollock and the cod. They seem to have like disappeared a little bit. They may have moved in swell. The cod we think moved inside. We actually just don't know where they are. When you shouldn't be fishing. I actually picked up my rod. It was so close all day today. We had a big thunderstorm, but I picked up my rod.
Hold on. New Haven Harbour, this is Emily Jane. Are we clear to enter the harbour, Oliver?
Joe, is that you to the east of the east there?
Yes. Yes, that's us to the east of the east pier, yes.
What sort of speed can you put on?
Whatever's necessary.
Well, we've just about got the ferry to depart. If you can hang loose until the ferry departs, just be on the safe side.
Copy that, New Haven. We're waiting for the ferry.
Hope you enjoyed that. We certainly enjoyed making it. The next trip we went out on, we went bait fishing, and bait fishing is something that is what my bread and butter is, but I haven't done bait fishing at sea for a very long time. The next episode, which I'm not too sure if I'll put together into a film, we went bait fishing, and that was brilliant. And I might try and do a few more trips. I'm going to be like targeting taupe and the big cod in the winter. I'd be interested to know if people think that's not be worth doing it rather than just sticking on the lures. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, please think about subscribing, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame about the football, but hey ho. Cheers, thanks a lot, bye.